So yeah, thank you guys. So
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Well, for all the first timers and for all the non-first timers, i.e. count greater than one, welcome to MVP Office Hours. My name is Dale Ziegler. I'm here in Kansas City, and with me as always are my partners in crime, Joy Shutters Helbing and Squire Kirshner. Go ahead and say hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Howdy, hey there, neighborinos.
Howdy, howdy. Rightly diddly, oakley dokley.
Oh no.
You can follow us at our handles there. You can always follow MVP Office Hours on Twitter, right there. And then MVPOfficeHours.info is the site for all things MVP Office Hours, not just here in the US, but our couple of other international calls that we have as well. Today is, in fact, August 21st, 2020. Fun fact. Events. Community events, Salesforce events, local events, all the things. There's links to all the resources of where we have different events. Obviously, 2020 has forced us all to go virtual or push our events into next year. At this point, it does look like Banff Dreamin' is still a go for November 20th. So right before the holiday season starts. But any of these links will get you all the information you need to know, starting with the top section here. Whoops, very sensitive mouse. Webinars, both Salesforce and community-led, are on the Trailhead platform. All the events are here on the admin domain. Dreamin' events also on the Trailhead domain. And then for local flavor, if you haven't found your local user group, or now that we're in a pretty much completely virtual world, a lot of user groups are opening their doors to national and even international audiences. Join, collaborate, meet, idea share, learn, all those good things. But you can go to success.salesforce.com/featured groups to join Trailblazer groups, or, God, seriously, Mac, trailblazercommunitygroups.com. And then to get the full list of virtual meetups, there's a Quip doc out there. Quip, because Salesforce. Moving on, talking about the international calls, it's not just us here in the U.S. where we do meet on the first and third Fridays of the month, but EMEA, they meet on the last Thursday of the month, as does MVP Office Hours Portuguese, which I don't see Carlos on here.
Yet.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to finish like introing it, and then he's going to jump on and say, hey, I could have done a better job. And you know what, Carlos, you're right. You could have. MVP Office Hours Portuguese is awesome because Carlos is actually based here in the States. He's in Tampa, Florida. He is trilingual, English, Portuguese, Spanish. And if you join, you don't need to know Portuguese. He will do all the translating. He is just opening the door to help facilitate help for our friends in Brazil and Portugal and other Portuguese speaking countries. All you need to come is with your willingness to help and answer questions. And Carlos takes care of all the rest. It's an awesome time. That is also the last Thursday of the month. And then the Twitter handles for each of the three groups. So what is MVP Office Hours? Well, we, like I mentioned, meet on the first and third Friday of the month, and our next meeting will be on 2 weeks on September 4th, which this was a tagline from the 4th of July. Now we can say, yes, we are still meeting before the Labor Day holiday. Oh, how I love them 3-day weekend holidays. It's an open Q&A. There are no right or wrong answers, questions, anything like that. MVPs don't do all the answering. Some MVPs even ask the questions. This is open forum, open mic for everyone to come with questions and answers and insights and help in everything. So you don't have to be an MVP. We're just here to facilitate the open conversation. bit.ly/MVPOHUS is a static link that you can go to for the next call. Recordings of previous calls you can find either on our community page, on Twitter, and in YouTube. And our favorite hashtags are Problem Solved Together, Community Learner, and MVPOH. Ground rules. Everyone participates. Everyone, it's okay. And if you're a first timer or if you're just here to learn, that is totally okay too. Again, it's not just MVPs. That's the most important thing. We just ask that if you're not talking, please mute yourself. I think we've all done enough of these Zoom, Hangout, WebEx, GoToMeetings, AOL chat by nows that we know that background noise can kill the conversation. So just mute yourself. To ask questions, you can either raise your hand in the chat, or if there's dead air, unmute yourself. Just announce who you are. And we do have chat here to share links and other resources or whatever. We also have the ability to share your screen. But with that, please, if at all possible, do not show us a production org. Please do not show us real data. If you have a dev org, if you have a sandbox, if you have anything like that, that's perfect. We are recording this, that's why. So this is going to be on YouTube hopefully by the end of the evening, and we don't need production sensitive information, confidential information, whatever. Just be mindful of that. Also, the big fat disclaimer, we are recording. If you are not comfortable being recorded or authorized to be recorded, sorry to say we got to let you off the train here. But again, YouTube will be uploaded later this evening or this weekend, so you can still catch everything. And we're going to share the deck with all the links and everything that we talk about here. Who are our MVPs in the room? Raise your hand, speak up, whatever you want to do. Let us know you're here. I see Jake. I see Joy. I see Squire. I see Barb. Hello, everybody.
Yay.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So with that, we're going to get into it. And I have already preloaded a slide here because we have had a few things come up in the offline channels. One thing I want to call out is at any time, we do have the MVP Office Hours Success Group that we've had questions posed and answered in between calls or continued conversations, whatever. This is a public group in the success community, so you don't need special permission to get into it. But we then also post our recordings and resources from previous calls here as well. So you can catch what happened in the past. In between the calls, you can ask questions, and then we'll also advertise the future calls there. So past, present, and future. We then also have the email address that all your invitations came from, mvpofficehoursus@gmail.com, where we had a couple of questions about certifications come in. So I'll address those first, and then we'll do the open Q&A. We had questions on CPQ and advanced admin certifications. Best place is always going to be start with Trailhead. And we have trail mixes, CPQ has super badges, and then every certification also has the Salesforce curated exam guide that gives you the breakdown of sections and everything. But ever since the introduction of trail mixes, everybody has stepped their game up in terms of curating some solid content, especially in the certification realm. So we'll be sharing these links out after, but definitely those are your big places to go. CPQ though, that's its own animal. I've never tried it. I've never worked in CPQ, but I have heard it's very much a hands-on required thing. Has anybody earned their CPQ certification, working towards it, whatever, that wants to speak up and maybe give a little bit of firsthand experience on it?
Yeah, I actually have the certification. It took me 2 or 3 tries to get it. It's very hands-on, and if you're not doing implementation of it, if you're not actually doing it, your chances of passing that certification is not high at all. It's very low. So there's a lot of different things that go into it. Sadly, the billing specialist super badge really doesn't really tie too much into the actual knowing of how CPQ works. That's the secondary portion of it.
Okay.
So it's a good badge to get if you want to learn how CPQ works, but it's more of the secondary after you kind of know the basic CPQ functionality. There's just a lot of things going on, and the knowledge out there, like I said, you're going to have to do it. There are some classes of all that Salesforce offers, but they're paid for ones. I think Bill Paul actually has some good YouTube channel stuff on CPQ. So if you go check out his channel, he kind of breaks things down to a little more basic level. He's another MVP, so he kind of takes things down even to very granular level. Like, this is what a price rule is. This is what a product rule is. This is how they work together. This is how you do these types of things. So it's like I said, it's something that if you're not actively doing, the chances aren't very high. And even I was doing active implementations and it's like, wow, these questions are straight out of the blue. And if you only do certain parts, you can do well in certain areas, but on other, it's the whole package deal. So you kind of have to be doing everything. Otherwise, your chances for success aren't high. I mean, it's a cool certification to get once you have it, but you have to put some of that legwork in front of it to get it and actually do quite a bit of work around it. It's not one of those words you can just study for. You have to have real life application for that one.
Gotcha. That is great insight. Thank you, Jake. Yeah. Yes, Squire, AOL chat. I said that. I go there. I do that.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought all my CDs went in the garbage years ago.
Hey, vinyl's coming
They're
back,
coasters.
so is AOL.
They're coasters. They're coasters right now. You be quiet.
Hard work.
So don't see anybody's hand. Go ahead.
We have a question in the chat about best practices from Ernesto about handling multiple opportunities with different contacts and one account. Contact rules. Ernesto, do you want to unmute yourself and explain a little bit more?
Hi, sure. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Can you hear me okay?
We can.
All right, great. No, it's just, yeah, so I'm trying to get more users on board to use Salesforce. And, you know, I'm kind of new and I kind of jumped in the org that was already set up from a bigger company. So we bought a little piece of that. And now I'm trying to get the sales team back in Salesforce because they used to use it a couple years ago and then adoption went just to zero. So now they're revamping it. And I think this is kind of like, I already asked a question before in this group too, so it was very helpful. And kind of acting like I'm starting from scratch. So I just want to set it up correctly without all those crazy modifications that they already have that they don't use. Basically, 85% of the org is basically trash. They have so many workflows and process builders and all that you want to name that are just spider web. But so now I'm setting up opportunities, accounts, contacts, and that's great. Then now I'm stepping up to products, and now I'm getting to the part of, okay, so if I have 20 opportunities for one customer, but I have 12 different contacts, which are related to different opportunities, how do I track those? How do I make it easy for the salesperson to know who to call on which opportunity? So I'm trying to import contact roles right now. I'm actually working on the file right now as we actually speak. So I just wonder if that's the right way to do it, or is there a better way? You know, what do you guys have?
I just out of the top of my head, I would start with your opportunity naming convention is going to help your salespeople. I know some people implement something along the lines of account name dash decision maker dash something unique about the opportunity. And then contact rules are going to be huge because you're going to be able to go to the contact, the decision maker, the person you're working with, or the other people related on the account that are working on that opportunity, and you're going to be able to see what opportunities they're tied to. So yeah, contact rules I think is the best way to go. Anyone else have anything on that?
I agree with the contact rules. I might suggest if you're doing anything with campaigns along that line, it'll help with attribution to a campaign as well.
Agreed.
Yes, eventually we'll set up campaigns too. Just taking step by step before I start getting into more advanced things.
Yeah, it sounds like you're on the right path.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's just a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work, but it's going to help your salespeople differentiate. So if they're having a hard time with like kind of looking at an account and being like, oh, look at all these opportunities. You could also do a filtered related list where you've got open opportunities versus closed opportunities.
Yeah.
You know, depending on,
That
on
is so much.
what kind of volume you're looking at. Yeah.
Right. And then, yeah, I don't want to take too much time. I
It's
kind of
okay.
limit to one question myself, at least. But you know, the other challenge I have, it's and I don't need an answer or anything. It's just about the amounts in the opportunity products. Our business is by thousand. So our setup is if I enter quantity of 10, it's actually 10K.
Mhm.
And then I have the amount field that calculates all of that, you know, times 1,000, whatever that means. But I think that way, though, I'm probably breaking all the dashboards and the reports that kind of Salesforce gives you as a package. Do you see other, I mean, do you guys run into the part where you have per thousand, or do you always use eaches? Is amounts always a problem? It's just you have to keep it under control, or I wonder if you run into any situation
Is
like
your
that.
question about the dashboard display of the amounts, or is it about how reports are displaying, or what is the?
Well, it's like if I change the calculation of the sales amount to per thousand, then in the, no, I think it should be fine then. Because there are reports already there.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
changing the calculation, I'm wondering if I'm breaking anything else.
The
Yeah, that's
calculation you
fine.
mean by the opportunity amount?
Oh, the field, yes.
Are you using the field?
The amount field in the
Yeah.
opportunity. Yep.
I mean, it's just a data point. Nothing's gonna break when you're dealing with fields and data points. Anything downstream is just going to recalculate based off of the change, and that's native. There's nothing that's going to break there unless you're trying to divide something by 0. But other than that, no, there shouldn't be any downstream ramifications. Especially since you only update opportunity amounts on one opportunity. You're not. It's not a update in one place and go blast out downstream updates that might have batching and things like that, if that makes sense.
Yes. Okay. No, I just wanted to, I didn't get that far, so I was wondering if I can prevent any issues beforehand. So I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, great. And so the next question we had was Vasantha about the vouchers. I don't know of any current voucher promotions that are out there unless there's some giveaways, but does anyone else know about any voucher promotions like certification days or anything that have the vouchers coming out?
I don't know if there are any certification days still active. They wouldn't be free. I think they're offering 50%. But you'd have to go to the Success community for that. I mean, their messaging, I think, is a little bit decentralized, so you might have to check a few places, but it's all in the Success community.
Yeah. And I'm not aware of anything going on right now.
Right.
Some of the user groups for DX Global Gatherings had some vouchers they're giving away, but that's pretty much over with now. So
Yeah.
trying to wait to see what's available.
And what I think you got 1 or 2 for running it, right? And they were door prizes. Not everybody got one, right?
Right.
Got it. Cool.
All right. So does that answer your question, Vasantha?
Looks like we got a yes. Cool.
Okay. And let's see. The next question we had was hello, Moraz. From John Glatt. Do you want to explain what you're working on with Pardot and ExactTarget?
Sure. I'm first time at the MVP Zoom meeting, so thank you. I've been in a support role and a user of Salesforce probably for the last 10 or 12 years with multiple organizations. So the organization I'm with now is a global environment with about 1,100 users. And we, in a previous organization, we had used ExactTarget before Salesforce bought them. And with the campaigns in Salesforce that were linked to ExactTarget, the open rates, click rates, bounce rates, those type of activities that were stored in ExactTarget used to be able to used to push to Salesforce, and you can include them in reports and dashboards. Pardot doesn't seem to do that. Push that data over to Salesforce. You have to go into Pardot and select the campaign, and then do all the click rates, open rates, bound rates, things like that within Pardot. Is there any talk in the future of pushing some of that data linked to campaigns back to Salesforce so they could be used in reports and dashboards versus going to Pardot?
Do we have any Pardot
I mean,
experts
I'm not
online?
an expert, but I know a little bit around that process. And I mean, first of all, the Pardot campaign, the Salesforce campaign, they don't track the same types of information. At least that's what they claim. Is that campaign and Pardot, it's like overall campaign, it has incorporated everything. It's not a direct tie to the individual campaign within Salesforce. But I do think there is a analytics app for Pardot that I think it comes native when you get Pardot, that allows you to at least explore what's going on in Pardot within like Einstein dashboards. And it's a pre-built app. So you might be able to get some of those things in Salesforce and that data, but there's a limited usage of who actually has access to that data. But it's not like back in it, it's not like Marketing Cloud where you can just push the data in there. It's not clean.
Right.
It's a little more, I don't want to say broken, but separate.
Okay. Yeah, because we used to, with ExactTarget, that data used to push in to Salesforce. So again, you could create multiple reports and dashboards from that, and the whole marketing team and the whole sales team could see that, where we don't have full access to Pardot for our sales and marketing people. So the people that kind of maintain Pardot on our side would have to develop the reports and develop the dashboards, and they export it to Excel and they do all of that stuff. And I was just trying to find a simpler way so that a bigger audience can see the data versus relying on one or two people to compile all that data.
If your sales team has access, you can definitely put the Pardot fields on your leads and contacts. You can also, I believe there's also a link that can tie them back to Pardot if you have access to Pardot. Like if you're going to give the salesperson user, they can actually click the link to go see what that prospect in Pardot is doing. So you can get a little bit more on that side. But I do know that typically requires having a Pardot license for that user as well. But
Okay.
I think Pardot is pushing towards almost identical licenses of whatever you have in Salesforce and Pardot. If you have both of them, to kind of they're trying to make that push.
Oh, okay. So they're more in sync.
Yeah, but
Okay.
that's just kind of what I've seen so far. But I don't really know if it's totally flushed out yet.
Okay.
There
Awesome.
is a feature with Pardot that does connected campaigns with Salesforce. And if you connect them, they're a one-to-one connection. And then there's a engagement component that can be put onto that campaign page that will show you your opens, your clicks, and your.
Oh, awesome.
Now, I don't believe the data it's not stored in Salesforce as reportable fields, but it's in an embedded visual representation that actually goes into Pardot. But
Okay.
and I think, I don't know, did you recently get Pardot?
No, I don't, in the previous organization, I was kind of the Salesforce / ExactTarget guy. The organization I'm with now, I don't touch Pardot at all. I can't even log in. I just have asked the people that support it in our org if that availability is out there, and they're like, no, it's not available right now. So I just wanted to reach out to this group and see.
So take a look at connected campaigns.
Okay.
Now that is something that you have to do on the Pardot side. Once you do that, then you're tied campaign to campaign on the Salesforce side. And then from there, if that's the route you guys decide to go, then you'll have options for engagement history that you can put, engagement metrics, that you can put on the campaign page. And you can also embed your engagement history. If you're in Lightning, there's an engagement history component that can go on your lead and contact pages that will show you, anything that was sent from Pardot, form page views, form fills, all of that sort of stuff.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Good stuff. Thanks, guys.
Hey,
Hey,
Barb,
Barb. Hey, Jake.
can you correct me if I'm wrong? But if you do that, you may have to rethink your actual campaign structure and Pardot, correct?
If you want to do connected campaigns,
Yeah, how you actually set up your campaigns within Pardot.
The campaign, well, if you do connected campaigns, your campaigns are created in Salesforce. And they're in Pardot, but they're created in Salesforce only.
Okay.
You don't create them in Pardot anymore. So you
Okay.
have to look at it, read through it, see if it works for you. We've set it up on our side, and it is an initial transition, but once we did the transition, we like that it's connected. And I think that Pardot is pretty much going, I don't think you can buy Pardot anymore without Salesforce.
Okay.
They only sell it with Salesforce. So you have to have a Salesforce license, and then you get your Pardot access directly from that.
Cool.
And
Thank
there
you.
are engagement. There is that B2B marketing analytics. I think you mentioned there are some analytics options. They offer that on the Pardot Plus SKU. You
Okay.
get 5 free licenses, but it just depends upon what you have for your version.
Excellent. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Barb. That helped clear things up on my end
What are
too.
you doing with the?
Thank you, Barb. I think we have Miraz up next.
Well, actually, before we jump, I think Angela had a question about alert banners on account object when it fits a certain criteria. And Angela, if you can unmute yourself, I think it's you're asking about a dynamic filter on the Lightning pages.
I don't really know. I think I've seen on some screenshots that some firms kind of maybe have some sort of if this then that. I was going to use a checkbox, and then if there was a checkbox that was checked in there, that the user would be alerted at the top of the account page just for that one account. That in particular, we're using, similar to the conversation earlier about client roles or contact roles, but we're trying to have consistency, and there's like 3 clients that they don't want us to reach them. They want us to reach out to a certain person. And so if we had a banner at the top saying, this is a unique situation, you reach out to the POA, that would be awesome.
So I literally just did this morning for a client. And so Dale, are you driving our little demo here? Okay. So what you're looking at is like the dynamic filters on the Lightning pages, right? And so if a status equals something specific, or a checkbox is checked, or I actually created a field, and we call it contact status. So if they're in good standing with the firm, or if they're in poor standing with the firm, or if they've been banned from having any contact with the firm, it's indicated. And if they've been banned, I've got this like rich text banner that's across the top that says banned, do not contact. And we also, added some automations that updated the email opt out and the do not call, and some other automations just to like slow folks down from contacting these people. And so you can do, let's see, Dale, that screen is really tiny on my view.
Are you able to show something, or since you built it for a client? No.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Here, let me. I got you. Come on, Chrome Zoom. Maybe.
We have a ton of specific filtered things that pop up for education on ours as well. So, if the service equals this, put up this information. If the service equals that.
Right. And I mean, you can put this sort of thing on your account record. You can put this sort of thing on that specific contact record. And there's a lot you can do with it. And it's really powerful. I actually worked for another customer who had specific contacts that were like, do not contact unless you've cleared with the VP of sales. It was like, and the messaging that they wanted was like so big and bold that it was like, he's like, yes, I want it in purple. And I'm like, whatever you need. But it was like this big thing. It's like, do not contact under any circumstances. I was like, all right, yeah, that's fine.
We've done things where like using the filter logic with an image, having a field light up to, like you've seen the ones in Trailhead that are like stars or red lights or green lights, but we've imported like a huge 4x4 picture that pushes the data down, and it's like, don't touch this kind of a thing. So there's lots of ways to accomplish this. That's what you're describing is so much cooler.
I would just want a GIF of Dikembe Mutombo doing the finger wag.
Well, you know, you can do that though. You can do that, Dale. There's so much cool stuff you can do with the rich text field. So anyway,
I like imagery from Jurassic Park, but I see what you're saying.
So Joy, where are we going to put this up?
So I just use the rich text component, and I put it under the highlight panel. So it went all the way across. So just drag that up and over, and then
where'd you go?
Towards the bottom of the right rail.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we're clicked on the rich text. If you scroll to the bottom of the right rail, set component visibility, add filter. Oh, you closed it. I need to open that. So add filter there, and then pick your field, account status. I don't know, whatever you wanna pick on. Active is a good one for this sort of thing, and you can say yes, no, done. And then in the rich text field, you put, what makes sense for you. You can put a link in there. You can put, anything not active. Yeah. and you can make this big, bold, center it, change the color, underline it, all sorts of things that you can do with it. Yay, pretty colors. Yeah, do that. Yeah.
Who doesn't love 72-point font?
Center it. Yeah, center it. And then save. So, and then we can go back and play with how this works. Is this making sense, Angela?
Yeah, this is great.
Okay. And so what we're going to see now is that this fantastic little setup, I hate that you can't get to like a preview of your accounts real quickly when you're messing around with stuff like this.
You can if you launch it from a record. You could
Yeah.
take it back to the record.
Yep, that's all right. But
I don't want anybody
records?
seeing my dummy data.
I don't work in records. I work in setup.
That's right.
Hashtag admin.
Right? Yeah.
And so when this account is sent to active, then you'll see that. So the details is probably where that's going to be. And depending on where that is on your page layout, active, yes, no.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if it wasn't on the page? Oh, here we go.
And then at the top of the page, there it is. And so when it doesn't fit into the filter, then it doesn't display. Do you have any questions, Angela?
That is fabulous. I actually had help with Salesforce support yesterday, and they immediately said I need a developer. And then they were giving me a workaround to add it to the compact layout, to have basically a color-coded field. And so it'd be red if it was applicable to stop my users. And I'm just like, there's got to be a better way.
Are you in Classic or Lightning?
Lightning.
Well, then I don't.
I
have
love
an
your reactions.
explanation.
I love your reactions.
For me? Me?
All of you guys.
Well, I was pulling my hair out yesterday. I was like, the guy was so nice and all, but I was like, there's got to be a better way that I'm just not.
I'm ready to take out my earrings and fight him. What the heck?
You don't want to mess with Joy. Just don't ever mess with Joy.
Come on. Come on.
Dark
All right.
alley, lit alley, it doesn't matter. Joy's going to take the task.
So Angela, you're on your way. Do you need, if you need additional help, you're looking for that lightning dynamic filter, I think is what it's called, Square. Am I wrong, or is that about right?
Yeah, or
Right.
it's a component filter, right? Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so Angela, yay, great question. That's a fun one. And then Miraz, we're on to your question about how to show compact layout on hover for a lookup field that's not the name on the related tab or a workaround for it or an App Exchange solution. Miraz, do you want to unmute yourself and explain a little bit?
Yes. So if you go to the related tab of any object, say on if you go to, for me, I only have my production and my sandbox, which has live data, kind of live data, not real live data, but I can't show that. So
That's okay.
We have a custom object, and on the related tab, we have contacts. So if I hover over the or rather the other way around. So I have a contact, and if I go to the related tab, and there's a customer object record there. If I hover over the name of the custom object, it shows me the compact layout for it. But if I hover over one of the lookup fields in that record, like a field that is a lookup to a contact, it won't show me the compact layout over there.
So the direct lookup versus the secondary lookup, right?
What's that?
So is the lookup on the second field that's not working? First of all, does it have a compact layout build?
Yes, it has a compact layout built.
Silly question, but always important to ask that. Is there even one there for you to see?
Yes.
So for example, if
so if you go to over there, you don't have any other lookup fields in that contact record. But if you were to have a lookup field to some other object, it doesn't show the compact layout.
So you're saying, I want to make sure I understand. If then contact had a lookup on it that you wanted to put here, that's then the compact layout you're not seeing.
So not on the actual compact layout card, but right there where you see Jack Rogers title, email. So if you step away from the hover, and where you see title, email, phone, if there was another lookup field over there, I wanted the ability to hover over that lookup field and see the compact layout for that. Right, like that.
Yeah.
Yes, like
That's,
that, exactly.
I think that's a product of Salesforce limiting its governance. It's how much work do you want to make the system do, and at the same time, because it's in the cloud and shared, multi-tenant, if everybody were doing that, that's a lot of deep queries. Not like this first pass here of what's related to this record, that's super easy. They've baked that in to fit sustainably. But then if you're doing that and everybody else in your pod is doing that, that starts to that's 1 degree further. The resources required starts to.
Is there a workaround? Maybe I can add to the Lightning page that will pull that data and show it on the same page?
You can write a Lightning component that would do it on render, but you're actually rebuilding the related list to do that. So you'd actually be in it and then be able to, it would bring up a modal that you could then click to bring up more modals, but it wouldn't be this hover functionality. You'd have to rewrite the entire thing.
Oh, okay.
What's the why?
The why is that our customer support uses this, and they're trying to remove that one click where they have to drill down into that record to pull up the related information.
Are they using console?
Well, I was going to ask you. Oh, man.
Me too.
What do you mean, are they using console?
So this here is, I don't know.
Oh yeah, yes, they do. So I do have it set it up as a console, so it's not different. So it loads up as different tabs when it loads.
I don't know if this is helpful at all, but in our org, we actually have our case people who would have to click back from the case to the account and back to the account to a custom object that has what we call OPCO accounts, just to get the account numbers. So I actually built a flow just to display all those on the screen. So I'm not sure if that's helpful or not for a different workaround. But.
And the flow writes them to the object. Is that what you're saying? So you can see them?
Yeah, it just shows the screen and there they are, and it saves them 6 clicks per case.
Yeah. You're just making the object bigger so you can see more in the hover, right?
No, it's its own component.
Clarify that it's not that you're adding this hover functionality that she's asking for. You've just put more data on the single child record so that as you open it in hover, you can see lots more, right?
No, I put specific data from an object onto that page, onto the Lightning page layout. It's its own component. But again, I know she's on the related list, so I didn't know. I know that sounds weird.
No, I'm just trying to understand. I'm not weird at all. I just want to try and understand what you're saying. So
No, but I think the big difference is the path that data takes. Because Christy, I think you're saying you're going up to parent object data and bringing that down, or
Case to account to OPCO account, and an OPCO account is actually from the account, so it's a related of the related.
so you're going up then down, and I think Mirage, you're going down and up.
Right.
And I think that is just enough of a difference that it's apples and oranges. I think Christy, what you built works for what you're trying to pull because you went up and down.
But
Mirage
Flow
is
can't Flow get everything?
Yeah, Flow, you can go up and down on that too.
Can't you go everywhere?
Yeah.
that's why I'm
with
trying.
Flow, right. But what about down then back up again?
Yeah, as long as you have a data point, you can query for anything.
But so then back to Squire's point, then how does that then ultimately get rendered? Is it still in a flow in a component?
I think the problem would be here is if you have multiple, they can snare multiple contexts that have different accounts, you have to combine that, and then you end up writing a Lightning component anyways for your flow in order to render that properly.
And what Mirage is looking for is one specific, once you've gone down, then looking back up to one specific one.
Right.
Right.
Which is what I thought you were saying you did, Christy, because like in theory, that contact could pull the information you want to see down to the contact record, which you could then put in the hover and see the related firm information, the parent information at the contact level, but it wouldn't be a second hover. It would just be more data at the contact, but that's not what you were saying.
You're limited to the amount of data you can have in that section there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you're only
if you're looking for more than 10 fields, then the answer is you probably shouldn't be using a hover anyway, right?
Yeah.
All right,
So,
does that help you get going then?
Yeah, I'll go look at Flow and see if I can rig something up.
Okay, and then we want to hear about your success. So make sure you let us know in the success community and we can go from there.
Okay, I will.
Squire, we had Margie next, is that right?
I think so. I kind of lost track.
Margie, was there a question about
Oh, yeah, so about the Marketing Cloud.
distributed marketing install package?
Right.
don't-
Is anybody on the call familiar with that?
Not me, sorry.
Okay. Can I share my screen? That might help with what I'm looking for. So this is a sandbox environment. Let me-
But your question is around approval processes, not really.
It is, but it's specific to this distributed marketing app. Like, let me show my screen because it might help.
You should be able to share now. I took mine off.
Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay, let me try again. I might have hit the wrong. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to the
It's okay.
No worries.
share screen. There we go. Okay.
Yep.
Now you can see?
Yep.
Okay, so this is just, it's an installed package, it's an app, and under administration, they give you the ability to determine when you want to have approvals. And so you have to already have your approval process set up in order to engage this or check the setting. You know, we only want approval when the message is modified. But then, let's see. See if I can get the setup here. Trying to move this out of the way. There we go. So then under approval processes, There is one specifically for this distributed marketing submission. Nowhere in the setup documentation, it gives you instructions on creating an approval process, but nowhere does it tell you what you should set or what your entry criteria is.
I know I don't have specific experience with this package, and what I would do would go to the folks who publish the app and ask for help there first.
So not Salesforce support?
No. I would start with the folks that created the app that you installed,
Okay.
and ask them for some guidance first. And then if they give you some information that, is difficult, then you can always reach out to support, but support isn't going to know how to handle this specific packages.
Yeah, and I have a case with support, and they, basically pushed me back to the documentation, which doesn't address that question.
I would actually wonder if the terminology is the same. Like, is the word they're using the word that you're looking for? Did whoever made that managed package actually mean to say approval, or are they using the word approval in a completely different way?
Mm-hmm.
Are they saying approval meaning getting approval from the marketing app and not necessarily Salesforce approval process?
I believe I can double check, but I believe it is Salesforce approval process, and you have to have it activated in order to be able to select this require approval.
So yeah, I mean, I love what Stu brought up, because managed packages are notorious for actually using custom functionality, not out of the box. So how did you get to the point where you are supposed to be able to select your approval process?
So you have to install the package.
Uh-huh.
There's a permission set that gives you access to this distributed marketing administration.
Uh-huh.
You set up your business units.
Okay.
These are quick send messages that were created within Marketing Cloud, and you select which ones you want to enable for sales users to use within Salesforce.
Mm-hmm.
And there are custom content blocks that they are able to edit. Obviously the people creating the branded email messages can select it, like rich text area, where the sender could actually personalize the message. But then according to the rules here, we're saying, okay, they can personalize it, but then it needs to go through an approval process.
So then where within this app should you actually be able to indicate the approval? That's what I'm not seeing in this screenshot is.
How does it know that it completed the approval process?
Yeah. All good questions.
Yeah, I would definitely go back to the publisher of the app.
Okay. Well, that's very helpful, because I wasn't getting real far with Salesforce support.
Salesforce support was probably like, this isn't something we support. What are we?
You should hire a developer. That's what support said.
For bright red text. Oh my goodness. All right.
Can you scroll down just so we can see what the rest of the?
I'm just curious too. This isn't a Marketing Cloud managed package. It's something unique from another vendor.
It works. Correct.
Okay.
It works with the Marketing Cloud. So they supply you with basically custom content blocks that you set up in the Marketing Cloud. You actually create your journeys and your email messages and your data extensions within the Marketing Cloud. But then you come into Salesforce you connect the business unit and then specify what message you want to have available to users or to campaigns.
Because I would think, I mean, if I'm following what you're saying, I would think that the entry into that approval process is that someone has edited that block of text. That so you.
So here's where that would take place if that's your question. So these are the custom components. You know, it's going on a contact page and it's going on a campaign page. So if I'm a Salesforce user, I would go ahead and I would select, you know, which message I wanted to send, and then you know, this is just showing what the message is. Ideally, they would then be able to edit this. And right now, I'm having error messages with this too. And I had a question to Salesforce about that. It sounds like, you know, as permission sets within Marketing Cloud, but they're supposed to get back to me on that too.
You stumped us a little bit because it's a little bit of a quiet corner of what's going on, and it seems like this call doesn't have folks that are in that corner of Salesforce right now. But we would definitely encourage you to go back to the folks that publish the package.
Thank you.
And then let us know how it goes.
Thank you. I will definitely do that, and I appreciate that direction. So.
Yeah. And so we are getting dangerously close to 2 o'clock. We have a question from Brandon. You want to know how to surface an engagement chart of activity.
Yep, I'll be quick. So we've got Einstein Activity Capture turned on. We have, I know you guys are all laughing because you're going to go, I know exactly where you're going. And activity metrics, right, show the emails. And what I want to do is I just basically want to show a chart because like Groove and some of these other kind of systems, even I know Pardot has an engagement metric. And I'd love to show an engagement metric that shows how much outbound activity and inbound activity. But because you can't report on activity metrics, it's not possible. Any workarounds?
I wasn't thinking about Einstein at all. I was looking at Pac-Man and NBA Jam back there. Sorry.
And I got a meme machine back there too. Scary had that conversation. So, and I'm working on another one right here. But that doesn't help me answer my question.
We're still planning a visit, so just so you know.
Right. Anyways, any thoughts? It's a hard one. It's not easy.
I had a former org opt out of Einstein Activity Capture because of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't come up with them. Does anyone else have a solution for that? Because I couldn't come up with it a couple of years ago. But it's maybe evolved since then. I don't know.
It's not available. Like emails aren't available in reporting.
Right.
It's not available. I think they have, I was gonna say, I think they have an Einstein activity report for that, but it's not customizable or anything. But you may be able to see some stuff in there. But
that's on. Is that in the analytics package? Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's like an out-of-the-box report, but it's absolutely not customizable. And then if you want to be able to customize it, you've got to have the analytics.
Yep. All right. Well,
is there any? I mean, is there any way to at least scrape the data through SQL queries, either in Workbench or if you have a Conga, like a tool like Conga or something that takes queries to export out?
Yeah, they don't live in Salesforce anymore.
Yeah, they're
in a different server, not accessible.
Gotcha.
I mean, I've never tried this, and I don't know if it even work, but is there a way to, at the time of that activity, to also do another activity that just stores it as a...
No,
can you duplicate the record?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Not duplicate the record, but just duplicate the knowledge of the record, like a flag that says something happened here. Because I don't need to actually store the actual record. I just need to store the knowledge that something happened.
You do have a good point, because I could create a report, the tracking report that tracks the last email received date as a basically log, and then log that emails. But
yeah, boy, that you would end up with a huge data model though, because those would still be 2K for every activity. It could be bad.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I know it's a bad idea.
It's a long script. I mean, all it is just a long script that you are just reading. Maybe purge it after you run that report, but
it's all good. I don't want to take anybody else's more time. I figured there wasn't a quick fix for it, and so yeah, that's all right. This is what this group's for. I love it. So.
Yeah. We like it.
Well, but the thing is, like, it's a popular question now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So can I just ask one follow-up question? So we're on the cusp of going NBA as well. So you're telling me that the feature functionality is there, but there's no analytic reporting without AE, without on-site analytics? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
I can't write an activity report that says show me all the contact with.
Nope.
Yep.
You can do some amazing stuff if you have analytics, but you can do nothing if you don't.
Right. We have Einstein Activity Capture. We have 6 Einstein Analytics licenses. But what I've told all the reps is the email you don't report on this side because it's a mirage. It's actually a mirage because it lives on Amazon Web Services. So you see it, but it's not really there.
The only way it is possible, we have high velocity sales, and so if it's in a cadence, then you can report on it. But it sounds like Joy's loving that too.
Keeps getting better. But here's the thing: we are also at the top of the hour, and so y'all are welcome to stay. But I got to bolt. Dale just.
Yeah, I got a few minutes. I'll keep this on. Yeah.
If you have any unanswered questions, MVP office hours at us@gmail.com and the Success Community. It was great to see everybody today. Live from my brother's old bedroom. Signing off.
I'm totally putting that in the YouTube description.
I am going to empty that from my brain.
Okay, I have a quick question, Dale.
Yes. Go for it,
So
Christy.
the reps they're wanting to be able to change their signature, and on Outlook they've changed their signature to include a Teams link at the bottom, and of course within Words they've embedded a hyperlink. They're wanting to do that on the signature and the email and Salesforce, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll look into that. So I thought I'd ask. Regarding, because I've actually put in a full hyperlink in my own Salesforce settings email, but it says https://trailhead.salesforce.com. It doesn't say click here.
I don't think we have rich text signatures yet, do we? To be able to mask that?
I don't think so either. They also wanted a picture, and I'm like, yeah.
So, we
Sales.
use the good news is we use because we use O365 integration, it'll pull their signature from Office into it, so our team doesn't have to add them.
Really? How is that? If you go to settings and set up your signature, yours just pulls it, because again we have Einstein Activity Capture, but the O365 integration part, how does that work? Because I don't think we've set that up then.
Just pulls a default signature, if I'm not mistaken. Or it could be, forgive me, that we also have a signature service that throws it at the end of any. That's probably what it is. It's a signature service that we have that appends it to any outgoing mail. So it puts the banner, like whatever marketing wants the banner to be. So my fault. I think I misspoke.
Well, here's a weird question. Hypothetically, if we had an email template that was totally blank except with the signature, could it become rich text?
Well, and that's what I was going to ask is, could you dynamically have like an HTML, yes, so a blank template that essentially runs as the running user. And then if you bake up the HTML to front end as a link, back end as the direct to and all of that, is that potentially in the realm of possible? The email template then just calls up.
That works for everything except Teams. They're putting some weird link at the bottom where you can just call them right away on Teams.
Yeah. Dan, you keep trying to jump in there. You have something?
Yeah, so the solution I came up with, or I researched and found, was that you can create an email signature _2 and make it a rich text field on your email object and put whatever you want in there and then add that to your templates.
All right, Daniel, you're going to have to walk me through this one.
Yeah.
Sweet. I love this.
Hold on, let me share here. Hold on.
It's on Success. You can find it on the Success forum. But somebody created an email signature to custom field, made it a rich text field, put it on the email object, and then you $user.email signature to, and put that embedded on the email template itself.
Oh, you're pulling it as a variable.
And that's kind of what I was thinking was like HTML, but yeah, rich text would probably be easier to work with. But
So I'm going to ask you a
variable
question.
is who's the user, then show.
Did we go down this rabbit hole from the perspective of tracking it from Stuart's conversation, or was this a whole different conversation than what I was talking about, the engagement?
This, for me, for my question, this happened this morning that
Got it. Okay.
they wanted it. So
Got it. No,
Someone
good.
check on
Good.
Stuart.
No, this is good because I was like, I was like, this is nothing related to what I was dealing with.
But
So I missed something there clearly. So thank you.
Could you create a variable in your signature that comes back to a record that every time someone sends an email, what would it do? It would
bring your org to a screeching halt.
well, I was just gonna say it kicks off a flow to do something, and then that's where my brain kind of went of would end the world. No, I don't know how to end that sentence, but I can create the start to a sentence.
Just don't end it with a preposition.
Yeah, you just have to look blankly at the camera as though you've lost your Zoom signal, and then we don't know what you said.
Thank you.
That's great.
Or like pass out in a heart attack, and then
Yeah, there you go.
What happened? I don't know.
So what just happened?
Yeah.
You were gonna make a signature to custom field. That's what I thought you were doing.
On the object directly, or
does it sit on your
user? Would it be
on the email object?
On the email object, and then you make it a rich text field, and you reference that field on your template. So you have to actually go into your HTML and put it in there, and you can get a rich text field to pop up that way.
Then how does it pull the rich text version of your signature into it? Where is that sitting? So like if I want to create one.
Yeah, it's so now you say grab this from your Google Gmail, and then just grab, cut and paste, put it all in there, and it brought it all over for me in that rich text format. And then it would just pop up in there, reference that rich text field. So you probably understand it better than I do.
Yeah, no, that's I guess I was just saying, so like is the idea that there's a field that every time I send an email, I can cut and paste my signature into, or is it pulling it from somewhere and pre-populating?
It pulls it. It puts it in there.
But where does the signature itself lie? It's referencing like your Gmail signature. Is that what you're saying, or
no? It's a rich text field, and you would it's on the email object, and when you go to like normally you would have the merge fields available, but this one you couldn't do it. You'd have to, because it won't recognize it. You have to actually type in. It's the handlebars, and then it's the different format, and then you get and then you reference the field that way.
Sure.
You won't be able to get it as a merge field.
But does it need to be dynamic by user? I guess that's the question.
Yeah, it is.
Can
Using
you
a rich
post a
text
link
field.
in your success? You said it was on the
Let me
success
see if I
community.
can find it. Yeah.
There you
Yeah, because that's the piece I'm missing is how
like
to get it to then leverage a run. Do what?
I was gonna say, if you run it and I run it, why do we get a different signature block? Are we thinking the same thing?
Yeah, because it should be dynamic based on user, and that's why I'm wondering: is it on the user field?
That's what I thought you were going to do. Yeah.
You're right. I said
Okay.
email field. It's on the user field.
On the user object.
And
okay.
you go to your user data. Like if you just went up to your picture up there on your personal settings, you'd have this field that shows up.
Gotcha.
Scroll down. So you're right. You're right. Not
Nice.
email.
No, but I mean, you're in the right place though, Daniel. That's because in the end, it's going to be running as a running user.
Yep.
That's what makes it dynamic. The dynamic goes on the template.
Yep.
You know, I've never found a use for a rich text field yet on a particular object, and this is the first, so this will be good.
There's another really good use case, Christy. If you want to make sure it's never reportable, make it a rich text field.
I thought that was the multi-select pick list field because on
Multi-select
analytics,
pick
you
list
can't-
finally found a friend.
Yes.
Is it Friday? I think it's Friday.
Okay, so
All right.
we have to have a session where we do like, you might be an admin helping users if they tell you their calendar has disappeared, but they clicked the box off, that kind of thing. That would be a fun session to have.
Steve Molis, meet the world. World, Steve Molis. So.
And then scroll down, should be right there, that your new field at the bottom.
There's
Ah.
okay, so now.
Nice.
And then I just dragged my Gmail signature in there.
Like the whole thing and the picture and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on.
But you can put in a, like your teams, I don't know, you can do a lot there.
Right, because each rep would have their own Teams link.
Mm-hmm.
Now.
Their own, right? Yep.
All right.
Okay, so here's a question though. If I have 450 sales reps to set up with this, I have to, how would their Teams link work on that?
Don't they have to set it up themselves from their profile setup?
Well, we're on the back end right now. At least Dale's on the back end putting it in there.
So
well, you can edit it up on your profile setting, your personal.
Yeah, like when you click your picture in Chatter, you should be able to get to that field, right?
Oh, and make it editable for them to edit and add it within. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. I mean, this is
legitimate. Nobody wants to do that for 400.
You can get it right there from settings.
That's why I'm asking.
Right. So, okay, so I'm going in through my settings, and why did it not show up?
Okay, so I find user is weird, Dale, that I have to put it on the user profile page and the user page.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
you need to use a profile in order to do what we're talking about.
Like we all have split personality.
Yeah, we don't want people editing their own profile, that's for
Just
sure.
Dale. I mean, the rest of us are fine, but we just don't tell Dale.
I thought the profile page was actually the page they see.
Yeah, the profile one is. Yep.
Okay.
Stu is not wrong. Okay, so I called it signature test, so it's on there. This is saying user detail.
So if you click your picture and go to your, is it profile?
Settings.
Not settings, like you actually click your name.
Your name, yeah. There's so many things to click, isn't there?
Oh, but not from setup. Like, it's like your Chatter main page is where you're going to be ending up at.
All right, let's get out of this.
Thanks for all staying on.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool. I found this the other day.
What am I going to do? Work?
Yeah, I might actually have to use this someday.
I keep getting pings that I'm late for something that is not as important as
Okay, if you're late for something on a Friday afternoon, those people need to readdress their... No, I'm kidding.
No.
We're still recording. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Whatever, I had a rep calling me 4 times within this meeting. I keep going.
We're
no.
still recording. I should watch my mouth. Okay.
Okay, so
your people page, yeah.
So I click on me.
Yeah. It should be in here, right? There it is.
Signature test.
Okay, so now
There it is. Ooh. I think I'll be making a video on this.
That's cool. Stop doing that.
So now you just have to go to a contact and send an email and pull it in.
Yep.
But you can't do it like a merge field. It has to be.
It's a global variable, right? So you're going like dollar user dot signature block or whatever. Yeah, it's not a merge the reference.
Okay, so wait. Now I'm back to how do I do that?
Okay, so hold on.
Looking a bit fuzzy.
Here we go. Let's do this. Okay. Yes, it's adorable that your ear is twitching. Just get me what I need.
Oh, I don't know.
What's the winter one? Winter's coming out. I never got to vote on the new icon.
Probably the same Astro except with a mask.
Actually, that's brilliant, and I hope that's what it is.
Yeah, it is wonderful.
Okay, so does it have to be a specific kind of template?
It shouldn't, but I use the Lightning.
When in doubt.
I'm interested in what you guys think, classic versus Lightning also.
Classic's legacy. Don't make a classic one anymore if you're in Lightning.
Okay. Classic works.
Yeah, exactly. If you want it to work.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Come on.
So I have created Lightning email templates on the front side, not on the back side. But
you would
It's
think
the
I'd
same.
know
It's
that.
just a different click path.
Yeah, but it wasn't giving me anything there except that switch.
That's weird.
Mm.
I'm also in email templates. Sure. Okay, so now where's my mail merge fields? Nope.
So what I had to do is go down to the bottom right, little parenthetical. Yep. Find sender. Click on sender on the left. And then email, whatever you named it.
What is it, signature?
Signature test, I think.
I don't see it.
Yeah, see, this is still a merge. It's not a merge you're referencing. You're looking for the global variable insert. So isn't that off of user? Which means it's like, let's see, through this. It has to be available via, you might have to do that from setup in order to build, like you're basically building a formula. It's not a merge. You're actually pre-populating with a bang value. I'm gonna try to find it really quick here.
Well, so
Rambling a little bit.
So what object would you be sending these from, Christy? Any and all?
People on the email on the right-hand side that goes with activities, you can do task, you can do event, you can click email. So it could be from the account record, it could be from the contact record, and then be able to have that signature instead of the signature that they have on the setting.
So I'm going to try something here on account just for giggles. Well, giggles. Oh, except rich text isn't leverageable in a formula, I think we found on the last call, right?
It must not be rich. It must just be, no, it's got to be though. For it to have the links and stuff.
I need to find this link now where I found this.
Dale, you're about to drive the car into a ditch. Please let me find this for you.
You can't solve everything in 10 minutes,
Sometimes it takes 11. All right. Oh.
Okay, so on success, you would look for how do I get user's email signature into a template?
Squire, is that what you just posted?
I've actually pulled it from the email documentation, not from Success. So if you have it up, if you want to cut and paste that link in too, Dan, that'd be great.
Or Daniel, what are we searching for?
How would I get a user's signature in an email template? It's not but I would type, yeah, it's not proper grammar, but it's fine. In an email template.
I think I got it.
I'll grab the link.
It's a race. Who's going to do it first?
Is it this? Nope, not mine.
Trailblazers answers.
Yeah. And then
oh, I did end up with the same one.
Sender.signatures is how they handlebarred it in there.
Okay.
Sender dot, yeah.
Okay, I will go read that. Thank you.
Yep.
You got me
We were
most of the way
almost
there.
It seems like
Yeah.
we were right there, Dale. I don't know what. He probably didn't refresh his screen.
Yeah, I have to go refresh.
Yeah.
Well, you have to turn off the caching. Then you don't have to do that. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'll
There's-
have to look into that.
Yes and no.
There's a setting that you can turn on your sandbox that basically doesn't cache your pages, which makes them run faster. But now you don't have to refresh 15 times and wait for your changes to catch up. It'll be immediate. It's a pretty, let's see, I'll see if I can find that really quick before we're done. But very, like, literally the first thing you do after sandbox refresh is set that setting.
Okay.
I'll find it really quick.
So I guess the thing I'm still struggling with is, have we proven that a rich text field will accomplish this? Because like rich text fields are not leverageable in formulas.
I saw it work.
And it was in Lightning because I saw something he
Lightning.
scrolled through that said classic. So, okay. Yeah, it looks like something that I could definitely work on this weekend just to see if I can fix that for people.
There's a couple additional links from this article that take you other places. So maybe the combination of all of it is what it requires.
Okay.
And I put the link in for disabled caching. If you get nothing from today's meeting, it's that setting.
Awesome.
I have sent all of those links to myself.
Cool.
Thank you.
Sweet.
All right. Well, I should probably bail because I do have a meeting. Thank
Anybody
you.
who's waiting for a question, we will pull out your questions and add them for the next call, as well as put them in this success. I know there's a couple that were hanging, so we'll do our best.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Great call. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Bye, all.